If COVID-19 wasn't dominating the news right now, what would be some of the biggest stories be right now? The former king of Spain and his Swiss accounts. Wow. That is crazy. Seems like it's the perfect time to get away with whatever you want. Friend of mine works in accounting, and he said his company is planning on seeing a massive spike in fraud with all the bankruptcies expected to occur. People trying to sneak under the radar, so to speak. Not sure it's trying to sneak under the radar versus the jig being up. Like if I embezzled $1 million and things are going well with the company, I can cover it up. The accounts have $1 million less than what management thinks, but the business keeps operating. Suddenly a crisis hits, the company needs to spend that million, and there's no way I can conceal that it isn't there. Boom. Fraud detected. This is what happened to a previous boss of mine. He wasn't letting us write off uncollectible invoices, usually duplicate invoices, so it looked like a lot of money was owed to us. Then a downturn hit and the board wanted to borrow against the large accounts receivable balance, but couldn't because the bank did an audit which showed those invoices are all uncollectible. I had to quit the job because he kept trying to get me, the accountant, to say those invoices were collectible, but I simply wouldn't, because I knew they weren't. If I'd have known why he wanted me to lie, I would have gone above him, but I thought he was just an idiot. ISIS bombs Sikh place of worship in Afghanistan. Afghan officials say 25 were killed and 8 more are wounded in an attack on the Sikh temple in the nation's capital. It appears multiple gunmen stormed the temple complex, while there were approximately 150 people inside. A Sikh who took cover says the militants went room to room, shooting and throwing hand grenades. The Islamic State organization has claimed responsibility. Fucking assholes are at it again. Oh man, bombing the Sikhs. I know it's ISIS, but come on guys. Most Sikhs are literally the nicest people. They have being kind built into the religion, and have rocking beards and turbans in it. Okay, so not all Sikhs are nice. That's a given. Stop being so angry please. My old boss was a secret alcoholic, sadly also a Sikh. He used to hide tiny whiskey bottles from his family under his turban. He was a genuinely sound guy, and a good boss too. So he was a secret alcoholic. That joke was disturbing. The nearly 2-year-long Ebola outbreak in the DRC has ended. The last patient to be treated has survived. Wow. I was worried about this a couple of months ago, but then the pandemic that must not be named took over my attention and I forgot about it. Incredibly brave people fighting Ebola. Such a scary disease. Yeah, the people that get out there to treat patients are some of the world's biggest heroes. I can't imagine how scary it must be to be living in a place with an Ebola outbreak going on. Thank God it's all over now. That was the last bit of positive news I got before all this started happening. Brexit. I almost miss it. I do miss it. It never affected me, but I loved hearing British people yelling at each other when I turned on NPR, and the whole thing just sounded really cool. Brexit was with me through 3 different homes and 2 different countries. Astronomer here. We might have a bright naked eye comet next month in the northern hemisphere, our first since 1997. Comet C/2019 Atlas Y4 is brightening really quickly, and by May, might be one of the brightest things in the night sky. I mean, comets are notoriously tricky to predict in brightness, as it might just break apart as it gets closer to the sun. But it's really exciting to think about, albeit no one has heard about it because of the pandemic, though granted, doesn't a pandemic need a bright comet? Edit. You might be able to get it in binoculars right now, or at least have fun trying. Here is a star chart for it. And yes, the last bright northern hemisphere great comet was Hale-Bopp, which was up for about a year to the naked eye. If you were a southern hemisphere resident in 2006, however, you probably remember Comet McNaught. Edit 2. Because many are asking, that bright star in the evening sky is actually Venus. It's around its peak brightness and height right now, and you should go take a look, if your social distancing allows it. Might as well take a break from Netflix, and look at a whole nother planet. Edit 3. No, there is no chance of the comet hitting us, or affecting life on Earth beyond potentially getting bright. You know what? I'm really excited for this, thank you for that information. Glad to see you're still hanging around. Thank you for all you do. I'd like to say the Earn It Act, but shit like this doesn't tend to make the news. Earn It is only on the table because of COVID-19. There's no way they would try this if we weren't distracted. That's a fair point of view. Maybe another good r/AskReddit thread could be what are people trying to sneak by with all of our attention elsewhere. California regularly passes tax increases on Friday afternoons, especially before 3-day weekends.